something that you're in love with. And then it's attached to your emotions, so they feel like they have to have it. Now, I want you to look up this word. I want you to look up this word, investment banking. There's a young man, I haven't had the chance to meet him, but I've heard about a little bit about his story, is that he's into investment banking, and he won't spend any money. Ask me why. If it doesn't make him money, why should he spend it? If it's not going to bring you back more than what you paid for it, then why would you buy it? It's a difference in buying what you want and having what you need to produce a bigger footprint. Because most people shop and most people function out of their emotions and out of their feelings. And I want you to look up these two words, young ladies and young men. I want you to look up the word intellect and intelligence. And I want you to say this to people. I need you to build my intellect and intelligence. And so the word that we're going to deal with briefly is the word literacy. Do we have that definition? All right, will you read it for me? Now, first of all, let's look at the word. We still playing music? We got music playing. We have to, if you're going to be successful, you're going to have to acquire knowledge. When you acquire knowledge, it's going to tame and draw in your emotional feelings. You won't be so touchy-feely. And so people cannot manipulate you if you're not so touchy-feely. So basically, you have to learn a schematic called a poker face. I'm going to show you why. When I sit in the meeting, people always, I've had this from a kid, people say it's very hard to read you because I just look. So no matter what you say, I just have the same. So you can't read my emotions to know what to piggyback off of or pull into. Because people that are easy to read are people that are easy to spend their money. Does this make sense? So what happens is, if you say to your surrounding environment, which you will discover will eventually change and grow, you want to be around things and around people that build your intellect and intelligence, and to understand the concept of literacy. So do we have that definition? Will you read it? Okay, we need somebody to read it in the mic. Come on, I sent that to a couple of people.
Literacy is the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, communicate, and compute using printed and written materials associated with varying content.
Let me ask you a question. Where do most people fail when it comes to reading? And it comes to being knowledgeable about something. See, if you're going to learn, and this is not a class to get more money, this is a class to show you that when you get to more money and give you the steps to get to more money, you won't have the same attitude you had when you were hungry for money. Am I making sense? So this is why, if you see, it says financial what? Okay, so let's read, everybody, let's read this word. When they say it, let's repeat it. Come on. What is the first one?
Literacy is the ability.
So first of all, I want you to understand you're going to have to take the limits off yourself. You're going to have to open a window that has been closed. And the only time that window comes open is when you're angry, sad, or bitter. And that's when your intellect and intelligence come. And then you get upset with somebody and you think about all the wrong things they have done. But here's the problem. You allowed all the wrong things to happen on a continuous basis, which means that you was absent of literacy. Does this make sense? So I want to ask you, and I see what they say about me because I can tell when I get ready to crank, I want to stand up, so I'm hold my seat. Is you play entirely too much in your feelings and your emotions, and it's draining you financially. Now you're frustrated, and this is going to be tight, and you want to blame somebody because of the color of your skin when the issue is the emotional mindset that you have about you and your life. Because if God made you a promise, how are other people keeping you from your promise? You know why? If you go to Genesis 26, 1 through 12, just write it down and read it. This is what happened to Isaac. He lied, and we're going to deal with the lie. So put lie, and we're going to deal with the lie. But he lied, and he was given an assignment. Because remember, he was coming from a famine. You remember that? He was coming from a famine, and God told him, don't go down to Egypt. I want you to go over to Gerar. What did he go down to Egypt and do? Start lying. Hello? Forgot his assignment. Had people that was jealous of him, wanted his wife, and he forgot his purpose. Am I making sense? How many of you have forgotten your purpose because of what somebody has said about you? How many of you have walked away from where you should be and didn't go to the place that you should be, all because somebody disturbed your environment? And how many times do you spend money out of your environment because of your emotions, and it has nothing to do with your intellect and intelligence and substance? And then you come back and ask the most wonderful question, why did I do what I did? Because we fall short on acquiring the ability to do what? Identify. Can we take it a step further? Deuteronomy 1 and 28, our brethren, which whether, because they have what? Discouraged our. You let people get between you and God. And you expect God to bless you when you keep making a mess. Because the little thing that God gives you to grow, the little seed is your intellect, intelligence, spiritual insight, spiritual foresight. It goes right between your thoughts and your attitude. Now, why do most people fail? Your attitude get infected by your thoughts because your intellect never stood up and spoke up and said, you know this won't work. And what do you continue to do? You try to make it work. God sent Isaac to fulfill the promise that he has given his father. I want you 3 kids to stand up. I want all the little small kids to stand up. You see, here's the thing. We are telling them how cute, how pretty, how fine you're supposed to be. You've never told them that they were heirs and that they have a promise from God. And because you're not happy with yourself, you make them unhappy with their self. Because I'm going to ask a question. Y'all remain standing. What did you do for them from conception to birth? What finances did you get? What 529? What bank account? Who came together in the family and put bonds and trust together so the kids will have something? No worry. We worried about their cuteness. Look at the hair. Look at his hair. Oh, girls gonna want him. Oh, we putting them in sports. And they all broke. And then as parents, as dads, there was a sign. I said this in Greenwood. Abandoned child, absent father equals poverty. Abandoned child, absent father equals poverty. And let me say this. Why are you fooling with someone? And this is why I have a problem with a lot of us in clergy. We're telling y'all about the promises of God. You ought to know that you got a promise. Here's the thing that we're not preaching and teaching. We have not taught you how to work the promise. This is why they couldn't cross over, because they always thought somebody was supposed to give them something. So God told Isaac, you have to work the seed. So you need to look back at your parents and say, when are you going to work the seed? If mama's off doing mama and daddy's off doing daddy, then what's the future of our children? Because from birth to 12, they have nothing. From conception to birth, they have nothing. And from the birth to 12, they have nothing. And from 12 to 18, they have nothing. And from 18 to 21, you give them and send them into fast food to work, and they have nothing. So how can they compete when they don't have nothing? 21 years of poverty, 21 years of a broken home, 21 years of abandonment, and you expect for them to be successful? It's darn near impossible. I'm not angry, I'm passionate. Because mamas are still being mamas and wanting to be fast and be cute. What about your children? Put them press-on nails down. Put them shoes down. Leave that hair in the hair shop. Daddies, well, I got a job. I don't want to pay child support. You should have thought about that before you start playing the parent game. Get your big, ugly, rusty butt and go cut some grass when you get off. You don't even have a penny jar for them. And if you think somebody has an issue with you, what do you think they think of your children? Where's the 529 for your kids? And see, we think we give them clothes, Snickers, and tennis shoes, and caps, and ball caps, and you can't go nowhere with that junk. So I want to teach y'all. Your beauty ain't in your body. The beauty is in your mind. Are you hearing what I'm saying? The beauty is you don't compete with nobody because you're all from a royal family. So you don't compete with anybody because you were given a promise. The problem is you didn't have any promise workers. And I'm going to teach you how to work the promise. You see what I'm saying? So if you can, y'all find one of these on Sundays. Jashawn, I want you to find one. I'm going to show you something. Because see, all our kids are left to is to the streets. Who's building their future? I have never seen the streets build the future of a man. And I've seen people come from the streets, but they don't act like they're from the streets because once they learn a new walk, they talk a new talk. Am I making sense? Thank y'all, babies. Y'all can sit down. So back to the parents. What was you doing at conception? It was all about you. What was you doing at birth? It was all about you. What were you doing from birth to 12? It was all about you. What were you doing from 12 to 18? Because you claimed them on your taxes. It was and then you argue, I'm claiming them this year. No, you ain't claiming them this year. I'm claiming them this year. I'm claiming this year. You're arguing and spitting and fighting over who gonna claim the $1,500, $1,800, $2,100 tax deduction, and you ain't investing nothing in the child. And all you got to do is send that young man out the door with a ball cap, a football or a T-shirt from basketball, and some sneakers, and they are broke. And I love you. You my boy. You my boy. I love you. I love you. Love don't leave you empty. Because you're chasing things, and I want to teach you how to develop substance. So you got to acquire, even in the midst of brokenness and even in the midst of pain, you have to acquire the ability, come on, literacy, to do what?
To identify,
Uh-huh.
understand.
To identify. Let's talk about identify. You know, somebody came out, oh yeah, I got this, I got that. Shut up, you ain't got nothing, okay? Because see, first of all, you're not even in a position. You don't even have 4 streams of income. The Bible tells you right off the bat in Genesis 2:10-12. So how are you efficient and effective if you're not self-sufficient and effective? Oh, you cute. There's a whole busload of y'all down there. I used to tell my daughter, you know, she had light brown eyes, and they told her she was cute. I said, you go to California, there's a whole block of them. There's a whole block of them. See, when you look like you rare and you got them little Chinese eyes, and she actually got hired by some people, and they thought she was not. But when she got up, they knew she was. But they hired her, and because they thought, you know, she was from their culture. And so I told her, I said, they hired you till you got them. Like, okay. But she's the #1 performer. Because you don't realize people have gotten you off your base. People have gotten you off your base. Because they've got you into physical things and not into substance. So you're chasing tennis shoes, you're chasing this, and you don't know invest. You don't understand investing. You don't understand it. So you don't have income. See, it's bad to get in your 60s and your 70s, and then you got to depend on Social Security, because the people that I know on Social Security, they don't have enough to make it. And if you still got 20 years left on your mortgage, how are you gonna make it? You don't have any substantial income coming in because you're trying to be cute. You need to take Maylene back her hair. You need to take somebody back them shoes. You need to get that hat back. Listen, this ain't picking on me. I'm just telling you the truth, because you spend more on everything else and you invest nothing in yourself. And when people see your weakness, because see, you focus on somebody liking you, you don't even have yourself established yet. And so here's the thing that nobody told us. Successful living has to be taught. And poverty is a sin. See, and let me help us out, because some of us in here got a little age on us. We thought it was okay just to work hard. Can I give you the real definition of what I want to tell you? Our mindset is in the junkyard, and our desires are in the penthouse. Ask me, what does that mean? Everything you think you have, you feel like you got to struggle for. And the seed that God gave you, you won't plant. Because it's going to take time to develop. Your seed will push back on you in order to burst and germinate and bring forth what God has for you. Does this make sense? See, we've been preached the promise, all the promise, but nobody ever told us that you have to work the promise. I want y'all to write that down. So let's come on, let the ability and literacy come on.
The ability to identify, understand.
So now I need, and what does the Bible say? Above all things, get ye. Okay, so now let me ask you this question. Then why are we so comfortable running around with people that's still hanging out in the junkyard? That must have hit home, did it? See, the reason it won't work is that you could be an eagle, but you somewhere kissing a turtle. And a turtle can't fly. But because you're in love with the turtle, you try to change the turtle, so you're lying to yourself. And see, where you belong, you feel uncomfortable. Can I make it plain? Because where you belong, you're going to have to stretch out, and you're comfortable because you can close in with the turtle. And so because you have such low value in yourself, you have such a low self-esteem, but you prideful, but you got low self-esteem. You're not dumb, but you have low, male and female, you have low self-esteem. And in any old junkyard dog that come around and start barking and telling you you're cute and you're fine and you're thick and you're sexy and all of this, and you know you got that big old mule forehead, and she talking to you because you got a good paying job and you know you need to get your teeth fixed. You let these people tell you anything and they steal your time from you and they trap you. And I'm not going to teach you how to handle money, and you still got a poverty and a grasshopper and a junkyard dog kind of mindset. That just disturbs me. Am I making sense? And so we're most comfortable with people that are dysfunctional, because if they're dysfunctional, then it hides our dysfunctional. So we just run around in the junkyard because our subconscious tells us this is good for you, but it doesn't take you to where you belong. Because to have literacy, because every now and then, prodigal sons and prodigal daughters, you wake up in the pig slop. Come on, somebody talk to me. And you realize you don't belong there. And you realize who you with don't belong with you. And you realize where you at, you don't belong there. And you know there's better in you, but you can't get it out because you got a junkyard kind of appetite. Am I making sense? Because y'all sign up again, kids. When you have children, your focus should be on your kids. And our kids are underserved and underparent and undersold into. Because sometimes your kids are nothing but car riders. You don't even talk to them. Yelling at them. Yelling at them is not talking to them. And always telling them you broke is not what you should be saying to your children. Because then all they'll do is look for a group of broke people, because my mama was broke, my daddy was broke, my aunt was broke, my granddaddy was broke, my grandma was broke, so everybody I'm comfortable with has to be broke. See, we're messing them up because all we talk about is poverty. You talk about your skin color, and you talk about how bad it is and how tough it is. We got our kids under so much pressure, they don't even want to go outside. And you sitting in the house waiting on somebody to text you. You need to take that big old forehead and go somewhere and sit down somewhere. Get in the back room and get a book. Am I making sense? Now, as the old church would say, now that I have your attention. Because you know what? Can I tell you something you don't really know? Everybody in here that has somebody or was around somebody that you really knew that wasn't good for you and wasn't healthy for you, and they did a number on you, I want you to just raise your hand. And I want to tell you something. You know what's wrong with you now? You're still conditioned by your haters. Because anybody can't build you is a hater of you. Anybody can appreciate your gifts and talents is a hater of you. Y'all ain't hearing it. Deuteronomy 1:20, our brethren, people you supposed to be close to that you chose, your choices, junkyard breath. And now your haters have conditioned you and you can't see truth. You know why? Because you're still stuck on the lie. Can I work with you for a minute here? See, many times we're limited because of our environment, because our haters have fed our subconscious. It's like the Bible says in Matthew 12:45, how that one spirit goes. See, people that hate you, that can't benefit you, do you think they with you because they're trying to better you? They gonna stay with you enough to poison you. So even if you get away from them, you will be so contaminated, nobody else wanna fool with you because you are so sick subconsciously. This is why they keep stepping back in your life. And the biggest inroad is when you have children. See, if you really wanted to do it, if that is your mama coming, if that is your daddy, let me take you to meet them and go on, because I don't need that in my environment no more. Y'all let them all up in the house and y'all just talking like everything all right. It got dark, and if everything's all right, y'all wouldn't be divorced. You letting all them wild spirits back up in the house. Let me meet you at Barlow with the window up. Let the kid get out. Get in the car. Y'all want to stand there and have a 45-minute conversation, but you can't stay married 2 minutes, but you can talk for 2 hours. Something wrong with y'all. Because our haters feed our subconscious. Because people, y'all can sit down, I'm saying, people with the power of agreement will always give to you and bring substance to you that you can create change in your life. The reason that they couldn't cross over, the reason that people can't fix their finances is because they're trying to get money without understanding what money is for. So when you look at the literacy, come on, let's read the definition.
The ability to identify.
Hold on. Every time she reads one word, I want you to say this, focusing on the lie.
Literacy is the ability to identify.
Focusing on the lie.
Understand.
Focusing on the lie.
Interpret.
Focusing on the lie.
Create.
Focusing on the lie.
Communicate.
Focusing on the lie.
And compute.
Focusing on the lie. How many times have you thought you could get better, but you were still stuck on the lie? You're still stuck that they wouldn't lie to me. I wouldn't think they'd do that to me. They were not your friend. They were your haters. Can I make it plain? What did they bring that built you, and look at what they took from you? What did she bring that made your life better? What did he bring that made your life better? What could y'all share versus what you gave away? What could y'all share? Oh, let me tell y'all. Oh, y'all gonna get it. Oh, I got a house. You can stay at my house. No. I told folks, if you don't have a house, you ain't got a house. Look at y'all getting quiet now. Well, I got a car. I got an extra car. You can drive my car. You gonna supply your enemy. If you gonna supply everything, what is there for them to do? Then you somewhere praying on your big rusty knees to God for an ashy little person that can't bring nothing to the party. Lord, let us make it. Jesus like, y'all weren't gonna make it when y'all got together. How can two blind dogs get across the street? Because you get stuck in your subconscious, focus on the lie. Can I make it plain? We just been together. Y'all need to go ahead and tell me. Y'all want the rest of this? Because we done had 30 minutes of it. Y'all can go on home now. Okay? You know what's killing you? Stop focusing on the lie. Can I break it down? The lies of your past. The lies that people tell you. And the lies you tell yourself. How many times have you told yourself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that tomorrow, I'm going to do that, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do. You lying. You lying. This ain't going to go over well. You lying. Yeah, I'm going to go tomorrow. You lying. You stuck on the lie. I'm going to start saving. Yeah, next week. I'm going to start working out. You lying. And you wonder why liars come around you. It's because you lie. Birds of a feather, quick, quick, flock together. Am I making sense? Let me ask you a question. For those of you who are close to retirement, what's your exit plan? And for those of you that have been working for a company 10, 15 years, what's your exit plan? What's your exit plan? Well, I got my 401k. Let me tell you a joke. I know companies that freeze it. They'll freeze it. I work for Coca-Cola. I met James, love James. And he did like 37 years, and they froze it for 17. Right when he was getting ready, they just froze it. They passed a law, get an agreement, and they freeze it. So if you are dependent on your 401k and they freeze it, what you got? What you got? Because they can freeze it. Yeah. Well, in the RA, that's fine. But see, the whole point is it'll get tied up in litigation because they'll change the rules and send you some papers and you'll sign them and you don't even know what you signed. So if you're in your 20s and your 30s, you can't touch it till you're 59 and a half. So what you got? So if you ain't got nothing, what your kids got? But you just out there just banging it, ain't you? Just banging, just. Football helmets, baseball helmets, all that stuff. You just out there just banging. Y'all making me laugh. Am I making sense though? What do you have for your kids? So this is why kids, if you stick with me, you will never be broke. Even when you got broke parents, you're going to have to hide your money. I'm going to show you how to do that too. I'm going to show you how to lock it up. When I'm over there like shoulders, I'm about to lock mine up because I just see trouble already. Between my brothers and my sisters, I see trouble. Because you know what people are being there doing. Because what I'm going to teach you, I wish I had another one. See, it sounds like this when it's empty. Won't nobody bother when ain't nothing in it. So what I'm going to teach you is how to keep it like this. Then take your money and turn them into dollars, and then we're going to lock them up. I'm going to show you how to get a safe. And show you how to have 3 keys. One for you, one to put up, and one in case it's an emergency. And won't nobody know it. So if you don't die, you got your money later. And if you die, they can't get your money. So you can look at the cash and be like this. Am I making sense? Because my question is, what's for the babies? If the parents hadn't learned nothing, they still stuck on colors and gear. And this is my basketball team. You can't even buy a ticket to the game. Stop focusing on the lie. Literacy. Who has the definition? Literacy. Come on and read.
Literacy is the ability to identify.
So now I want to know, how are you going to strengthen your ability so your emotions don't take over? Come on.
Literacy is the ability to identify.
Focusing on the lie. We ain't finished with that part yet. Come on.
Understand.
Focusing on the lie.
Interpret.
Focusing on the lie. See, that half the class don't want to participate now because they like, it done hit them in the spit. It done hit them in the throat, yeah. Right now. Come on, read it. Start from the beginning.
Literacy is the ability to identify.
The ability, stop. Now we're going to change it. Stop focusing on the lie.
Identify.
Stop focusing on the lie.
Understand.
Stop focusing on the lie.
Interpret.
Stop focusing on the lie.
Create.
Stop focusing on the lie.
Communicate.
Stop focusing on the lie.
And compute.
Stop focusing on the lie, because people will lie to you and then you will lie to yourself, and when you get to the truth, oh, we look like grasshoppers. We can't go over there. I don't qualify for that job. Too hard, boss. Focusing on the lie. The lies that people have said about you, your culture, for generations. Can I make it plain? You have forgotten that God made you a promise, and you have started listening to what other people tell you, so you don't work the promise. You got to work the seed for the promise to come forth. Can I make it plain? You go, see, the mistake is you go get something and you fall into behavior to think everybody's going to give you something. But look at what the Bible says. The Bible says that God blessed your hand, but he blessed the sower. So if you want money, you have to sow. But if you're not good with money, then you will spend money and not have money, and you won't understand the value of money because you're not a sower, you're a consumer. I'm going to say something that's going to be offensive. Stop praying for money and pray to be a good steward over the money you have. Stop praying for money. Oh, Lord, if I could just get a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Lord, if I could just get a little bit more, if I could charge about next $5 for this pie, I get a little bit more, I can get a little bit more. Everything a little bit more, everything go up just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And you still talking about, if I just get a little bit more, just get a little bit more. And you need to know, stop praying for money and ask God to help you be a good steward over the money you have. This is making sense. The lies of your past, the lies that people tell you. So people tell you. This is why poverty is a sin. Why would God give you a promise? The only reason you either have a famine or you have poverty is for disobedience. And I know that's going to be offensive, and people say, well, people put us in, listen. There were more inventions in oppression than there has been in freedom. Come on, somebody talk to me. There were more patents established in oppression. And so when people got free, they got lazy. There were more you're not hearing it. There was more entrepreneurship because they had nothing, so they had to work from nothing to build something. Now somebody let you go somewhere, and you plan to stay there till you die. Why do you get on somebody's job and want to stay there till you die? When God said, I'll bless your hand. So what you going to sow? What are you going to sow? What are you going to start now and say, okay, I can't go to school right now, but in January I'm going to school? Because I'm going to need that level of knowledge for what I plan to do. And I'm going to work for this company until I can build my business. Oh, you see what I'm saying? See, y'all don't understand. This is why, if you look in the Bible, this is why everybody talk about, Lord, was it Jacob worked for Rachel 14 years? But Jacob also worked to build Jacob's stuff too. Because her father wouldn't have let him have her if he didn't have anything. So sometimes you got to work in another person's vineyard in order to build up your vineyard. But what you do is sit there in your vineyard like you on top of the mountain because somebody gave you a title. So I got a title. And if I got a title, then I'm going to stay right here until they delete your title. Now you're back out in the field with everybody else. Because here's a mistake. You can stand behind a person. You can fight for a person. You can believe in a person. But when does a person believe in you and fight for you and cover you? I hear people say it all the time. Oh, I look at the anointing on their life. I look at this, and I say to them, fine. But that's a choice. The question I have for you, if they can't cover themselves, how can they cover you? And if they out of line with God, how can they keep you in line with God? That's all I'm saying. And so while you are covering somebody, you are absent of your development and you are absent of your covering. Because then when you're uncovered, now you're pissed off. Looking sideways. Because you done covered somebody who never intended on covering you. And you saying you're doing it for the Lord? Nah, that ain't for God. That's you. That's you. Yeah, I said it. So when you're covering someone, how does that help you develop, and what covers you if the person you're dealing with is uncovered themselves? Can I make it plain? You can be on the train, but don't mean you on the track. So you can say, we're going, but your train, your cart is not on the track. So you sitting in the cart talking about, we covered, I paid, I got my ticket, Lord, I'm riding. You're not even on the track. Did I help you? Because you know what? This is going to sting a little bit. We facilitate our own stupidity by evading our true conscience. Because you know what's right. Isaac knew what was right, but he still lied. But then his behavior told the truth. See, you're stuck on what a person said and you're not watching their behavior. The behavior don't lie. If a person say they got your back, when you go through tough times, they got your back. If you can't find them, you by yourself. Am I making sense? And you up at night about a person that ain't up at night about you. We facilitate our own stupidity by evading our own consciousness. And we keep telling ourselves that we're a failure. And what I'm trying to do for you to get blessed and understand financial literacy, pull up the wolf. I want you to know you got to quit kissing the wolf. Because at the end of the day, the wolf still got teeth. And the wolf is there for one thing, and that is devour you. And so just because the wolf is smiling, and just because the wolf gives you that look, and people tell you we like you, it's okay to take a moment. And it has those beautiful eyes. It's still there to consume you. And for my young, I like to call y'all my young millionaire club. Can I make it plain? Can I make it plain? When I teach you how to have money, I don't want you to give nobody no money. Because if you 10 and they 25 and they broke, Can I tell you what I told a homeless man? I walked up to QT one night, and I was getting ready to get something, and he was like, I've been out here since 87. I didn't pay him any attention. And he said to me again, he said, you ain't listening to me? I said, you talking to me? He said, yeah. He said, I've been out here since 87, and I've been homeless since 87. I said, look here, dude, if you've been homeless since 87, ain't nothing I got and ain't nothing in my pockets can help you. So you doing what you doing. Yes, it is. You been out there since 87, and you ain't figured out how to get off and out there? Ain't nothing in my pocket's going to change your outcome. So I may as well keep what I got and let you stay where you at. And I know somebody out there telling me, oh my God, no, I cannot follow him. Oh my Jesus, no. How many people have you helped and they didn't help themselves? You got to know the difference between sowing in good soil and sowing in bad soil. You need to look at where the seeds were thrown. If you want to harvest, you can't throw your seeds on rocks. And I'm going to teach these young kids, when I teach you how to have money, you don't loan money. You ain't old enough to loan money. I don't care how much money you have. You ain't legal yet. Because if you start loaning money, they're going to be back next week. And you know what I'm going to teach you? If it can't bring you more than what you got, then you don't need it. Y'all old folk, y'all still ain't got that. Yeah. If it can't bring you more than what you have, you don't need it. Because I'm going to teach y'all, some of these people working a job because they can't go nowhere else, you're going to be able to pick and choose. You're going to be able to pick and choose. Because from conception to birth, what was there for the children? And from birth to 12, what was there for the children? And from 12 to 18, what was there for the children? And they get one little fast food job. And I'm not mad at anybody in fast food because we need y'all. Just don't mess up our sandwiches. But what is there? What do they have to compete in society with? When other kids in cultures, their families put money aside at conception. They start bonds. They start trust. They don't look for scholarships to go to school. Parents have claimed kids for 18 years, and there's nothing to put back into the kid. Because it's time out for this. Well, I'll struggle. Well, we don't want to struggle forever. It was hard. My mom and daddy, they worked on a chicken farm. Well, they had to work on a chicken farm. Well, we ain't working on no chicken farm now. Because one of the conditions that I have to break is chasing these low-income jobs that only gives you enough to make it today. I have learned one thing about successful living. It has to be taught. Because, see, young ladies and young men, 99% of what you see is not right. Because you'll see certain situations where people will make you think you don't belong. If you can pass the test, you belong. But if you don't see nobody there, then you automatically assume you ain't supposed to be there. You don't need to compete with your body. You need to compete in the books. And you need to compete with your brain. If you compete with your brain and you compete with your prayer, God will take you places that other people will be amazed that you are there. And I want our youth to learn this word. I was born to succeed. I am different for a reason. I was born to succeed. Failure was your choice. Failure is not my option. Does this make sense? Because when you listen to the group, they'll break your will. If they break your will, they'll deter your trust. So the things you should trust, you can't trust because your will has been broken. And when your will has been broken, now your enemy takes control of your future because they take control of your mind. How do I take control of your mind? I take control of your resources. So if I never let you see the city, you'll always think the foot of the mountain is the top of the mountain. But if I take you to the top of the mountain, you will see a mountain bigger than the mountain that you're on. And now there's something that should wake up inside of you and say, I should be there because that's where my spirit is. But because someone's controlling your mind, because they control your resources, they control your pay, they look at you and tell you to look at your color and not look at your content. They tell you to look at your poverty and not look at your opportunity, then you will never come up. And I'm here to tell you, you were born to get up. And nobody's coming to give it to you. You got to position yourself to take it. And if somebody looks at you and say, well, look like you got a little attitude, tell them I sure do. I'm behind already. I got some stuff my grandma didn't get. I got to get some stuff my great-granddaddy didn't get. I've got to set a standard in my family. I got a piece of pie, but I got to make more pie for my children. And then I got to make sure my children got enough pie for their children. So when I'm sitting somewhere in a wheelchair, I'm still not in poverty, but I'm able to wheel from house to house, from car to car, from city to city, and from bank account to bank account. You be poor, but I've been made a promise by God that I am more than a conqueror, and greater is he that is in me, so I cannot accept less. I was born in a mess, but I rose from the mess. So that's how I'm going to teach young kids to tick. You're all kingdom kids. Oh, I wish I had somebody that can get it. You're all kingdom kids. So there is no competition when you all come from a royal daddy. I don't care about my birth daddy. Thank God for him. But I got a spiritual daddy that's got houses that's not made by hands. And if I talk to my spiritual daddy, then my spiritual daddy said, I will withhold nothing from you. But you got to get up and want it. Ain't nobody coming to give you nothing while you feel bad. What did God tell the man that was at the pool of Bethesda, telling him, I've been here 38 years, and everybody, God said, get you and come on here. Get up 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 and go back to school. Get up and clean up your house. Get up and see your value. Get up and live. Get up. Get up. Leave the excuses behind. Get up. And if you're stuck in the ditch, say, I'm here today, but I'm pressing my way on. That's why Paul said, I press toward the mark of the prize of a high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. And for somebody to tell you can't do it, tell them all things are possible to them that believe. Tell yourself, I'm going to finish school. Tell yourself, I'm going to school. Tell yourself, I'm staying in school. Tell yourself, my money gonna get right. Tell yourself, my health gonna get better. Tell yourself, I shall walk, I shall live and not die. Tell yourself that I'm more than able. Tell yourself I was born with a winner spirit. Oh, Lord. Tell yourself I was born. Tell them if they can take Moses. Y'all, I feel like having church. If they can take Moses and stick him in a lake with alligators, crocodiles, and snakes, and God preserve him, then tell God, you got to preserve me. You got to preserve my seed. You got to preserve it. And if he can come from the lake and get to the palace, look at somebody and tell them, I got a seat there. I don't care what you think about yourself. I got a seat there. I don't care what they told you. I got a seat there. I got a seat there. And the way I know I got a seat, my daddy said, I'll prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. I got a seat there. And it might look a little rough right now, but I got a seat there. I may not have come here with nothing, but I got a seat there. And I'm waiting on my seat. I'm waiting on my name to be called. I got a seat there. I didn't get it back then, but I got a Caleb spirit. It was promised at 20. It was delivered at 70. Tell somebody, God is still able. Yeah. They didn't let your grandma through. They didn't let your mom through. But tell somebody the gate is open now. Lord. And what I can't do, prayer do. And there's some devils, you got to pray down. There's some devils, you got to call their name and pray them down. Because how can I step up? Because my enemy shall become my footstool. Oh, Lord, have mercy. So the person that tried to stop me and my hater becomes my footstool. Because God wants me to let them know you talked about me back then, but forgetting those things which are behind, I press. I wish I had a church. I press toward a mark of a prize of a high calling. So I ain't got time to fool with that. Because that takes me backwards. I need stuff that'll take me forward. I need stuff. Look at somebody, just say it. You going back to school. And you're going to pass this time. You going back. 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 Because once you get the information, then the information sets you free. Tell somebody, I'm getting my certification. I'm getting it. I may have failed it 5 times, but as long as they let me keep taking it, I'm going to take it till I get it. Oh, I wish I had somebody. It took me 7 times to get my driver's license, but I've had them since I was 15, and now I'm about to be 60. You can pass that test. You can pass that test, but you got to stick to it. You got to stay with it. You got to fight for it. You got to kneel down and tell God, I want it. Look at no as a stepping stone to yes. Because every time somebody tell you no, say there's a yes coming. No, but there's a yes coming. Well, you're not going to be able to get it. Oh, no, not today. But there's a yes coming. Because when I finish praying and finding out what I got to do, no turns into yes, and yes turns into opportunity, and opportunity turns into freedom. So what used to bound me, I won't let bound me no more, because I'm not going to listen to the lies. Look at somebody and say, what you see is only the dirt. Baby, I'm getting ready to plant a seed. I'm getting ready to plant a seed. Because if a tree can produce with no brain, what can you do with a brain? You were the smartest creature that God made. Oh, can I tell you why? Everything else was made, but when God made you, he put a little bit of himself in you. Oh, Lord. So you have the intellect. Oh, from your daddy. So I can be smart. I may not be as smart as quick as you, but my daddy gave me something that I can use. And I'm going to let my daddy and my daddy's knowledge, because my daddy is creative. My daddy know all things. My daddy created this earth. My daddy created knowledge. So if I talk to my daddy, then my daddy gonna give me the answer. Oh, Lord have mercy. You have definition of what, baby? We will deal with that on Sunday. Just tell somebody, just look at somebody and say, honey, I've been stupid long enough. So when you hear me talking different, that's my intellect. That's my inheritance from my daddy. When you see me talking intelligent and I'm no longer moved by my emotions, then now I'm moved by my faith. Oh, Lord have mercy. And if I walk by faith, I don't have to think by sight. Did I help you? See, the church have forgotten to tell you who you are in Christ. Jesus didn't die for you to wake up a failure. Jesus didn't die. He didn't die and wake up for you to be doubting. Because he called his church the whosoever. Whosoever believeth. Whosoever. You don't need a title to be in the whosoever. If I'm in the whosoever, then I get the riches of my Father. So as we stand, just say, my day's going to be different. Just say, I'm going to stop listening to them. Because all they're going to do, all your enemy wants to do, is to make sure you don't get ahead of them. And God says, I made you a promise. Kids, I want y'all, I think somebody make t-shirts. You need to get a t-shirt to say, I'm the promised child. I am the promised child. Because see, there's entities that want to break you now so you never meet your destiny. And then there's entities that make you measure yourself by what's not measurable. So you're measuring yourself by your height, your color, your texture, your size, your shape. And here's what your daddy said. When I looked at you, you were good. And if your daddy says that you are good, then why are you worried about somebody who ain't no good? Because here is how I see it. If you're not here to help me, then you're here to hurt me. And if you can't love my God, then you can't love me. So I don't care how I look. I care about my inheritance. See, that gets me going. That gets me going. That's what I'm working for. So then what I do is God has taught me, if you bless all the kids, I will bless you. And so then these kids that you bless, and you reprogram their mind that they're not kids of poverty. They're kingdom kids. They're kingdom kids. They come from a royal priesthood. The blood of Jesus covers them. Then I have to pour into them, because then they can be a blessing to somebody. Did I help you? See, you just thought you had kids to look like you. They got purpose. And you're the pruner of their destiny. And if you're not pruning them, then the world is shaping them. This is why we have so many youth pregnancies and so many, what is called sex trafficking, and our babies are having babies and in poverty and other people say that's so sad, but they want you to do that because they know you'll never get up. You're kingdom kids. You're kingdom people. But do you have a kingly mindset? Does that make sense? All the lifted hands, let us say, let the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart, be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Let every heart say, amen. God bless you.